Welcome back to KYD and the last of our upgrade videos before season 5 starts to Alaska.
In the past 7 days, because we are underway, we have only spent $5 on lodging because of this solar system.
Yes, so this video we're going to break down the install of this, what I'm calling the ultimate solar setup, because it's ridiculous. And we did the install with Jared in his channel all about RVs. By the way, he has a video on this install also. So he's going to share different information that will add value to you. So I'll link to that video up there, also down in the description, so check out that video.
But there's a reason Mark has blue all over his hands, and that's because we made a bonus video for you. Explaining what, Mark?
Okay, so we did a bonus video for the RV newbie that might not understand solar. We really wanted to have an opportunity to share, like, how does solar work, and like, what's the difference between a coffee maker and a hair dryer, and to run your TV, how big of an inverter do you need, how much does some of this stuff cost? So for that, pop on over to keeperdaydream.com/RV-solar. You'll get that video plus all the links to everything that's in this video, all the questions that we're going to get from this video about solar. So if you're thinking about upgrading to solar, you have more questions about it, definitely go there, because that's where we're going to put all the resources.
That's the big gulp of the solar info.
Yes.
Okay.
Right. Okay, so definitely check out that. Now this video, we're going to dive into the install. And it was actually a lot of fun to work with Jared. We thought the install was going to be 2 days. It was 4 days.
It was long.
All right, let's just jump into it right now. Look who's over there. Jared with All About RVs. Jared's the brains of the operation. And look at, just to prove my point, look at what he shows up with. A full solar, hand-drawn solar schematic. So
don't look too close.
Here's the plan. We're going to spend the next 2 days getting the solar installed. We've teamed up with Zamp and Dragonfly Energy, and they've hooked us up with some Battle-Born lithium batteries, and then also Micro Air with an easy start system for the AC, so that we can get possibly the air conditioning going on the batteries. What am I missing? Oh, and then a Victron inverter, 3,000 watt inverter.
Yes, and battery monitor.
And battery monitor.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. I think the first thing we need to do is take an inventory of everything, maybe like spread it out on the table and explain where all the parts go.
Awesome.
And then you can tell me where it goes, and I'll hold the camera.
Okay. That's a good plan.
Someone's got to hold the camera. Oh man, they even matched our color from our logo. That's awesome. Okay, so this is the all-star team, so to speak, when it comes to solar for KYD. We've got our Battle-Born lithium batteries. These are 100 amp hours each. These panels are 160 watts each. There's 3 of those. That's 480. And then this is the Victron 3,000 watt inverter and the Micro Air Easy Start. So what this does is it reduces the initial surge when the air conditioning kicks on. It kind of goes like this, and then it levels out, and that's why you can't run your air conditioning on battery or maybe like a single generator. So this just smooths out that initial surge so that you can get it on. Once it gets going, it's fine. So we have this going on, and then we've got the Zamp solar charge controller, and there's also, and this is the battery monitor. And then we've got, the cable's not here yet. Trish is coming up with some sweet cable, and it's actually polar wire. And instead of, how many wires are, let me just show you a picture of the difference between some wire at Home Depot compared to this polar wire. We're talking really small copper strips that makes it flexible, conducts way more amperage. So Trish is coming up with that cable for the terminals. We have all this stuff laid out. We got to jump into Jared's schematic, and we got to make sense of it all. The freshwater tank right there?
That's the fresh, yep.
And that goes across the whole...
Almost the whole thing. It takes up a lot more space, but you have all your plumbing and some of your electrical here.
All the inverter and batteries can go right there.
Yeah.
And not take up any more space than
what you already had.
Yeah. So Jared is now cutting. Why do I start every one of these things I start off with? Well, let me tell you what Jared's doing now. Jared's cutting this right here at 17.5 inches, and then what we're gonna do is take that piece of felt cardboard like this, we're gonna put it flush against the wall. And then we're gonna mount the inverter up to that wall. We're gonna actually add a 1x1 back there to mount this guy right here too. So that way this is gonna go on the 2 pieces of wood studs, and then we can put that inverter up on the wall, taking up space that's right now completely unused. And then what we're gonna do is just build out a new wall to cover up the backing of this plumbing right here. So we're using space that was previously completely unused. Oh my gosh.
Look at that.
I have a feeling the Grand Design Reflection travel trailer owners are gonna be like, honey, I'll be in the garage. The purpose of day 1 was for Jared and I to kind of get a sense for where is everything gonna go? Do we have another space for everything? Like build a plan. We went up on the roof, we checked everything out. So we're trying to make the most of today, and so what we decided to do is move around some of the panels. So because the lithium batteries are only going to provide power to half of our panel, right?
It's 50 amp total.
50 amp total, but we're only gonna have power to one side of it.
On one pole of it, yeah.
And so on one side, we've got like the washing machine, the dryer, the fireplace, and receptacles. And on the other side, oh, and an air conditioning unit. And the other side, we have another air conditioning unit. And what are some of the other things?
Microwave, refrigerator, GFI.
What about the dishwasher? Is that on there?
Dishwashers, no.
That's just a test. So what we need to do is, if we're only going to provide power to half of the panel, we want to move the receptacles and the air conditioning that we want when we're running off a battery to the same side. So we're going to swap the receptacles for the fireplace. In fact, is that the only thing we're going to do?
We're going to swap ACs so that you have the one that you want functioning on the proper side. And then we're going to swap the fireplace with the receptacles.
Very productive day 1. Very productive. We have a whole map. We have an entire map of everything we're going to accomplish. And now we're going to head to Home Depot and we're going to pick up the parts we need. We just tested the air conditionings now that we've swapped them, and they both run just fine. Nothing smoked, nothing caught on fire. And I'm going to get some drill bits for the hole we're going to mount into the roof and get all set for tomorrow. So we're off to a good start, and I'm glad you're here to watch some of this installation process. So that's it for now. Catch you in the morning. Tricia? Mm-hmm. What are you doing?
Hi.
Hello.
What are you doing?
We're just about ready to get started. We're gonna hop up on the roof and we're gonna mount those panels up to the roof.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, and then we're gonna drill a hole right up in there, and we're gonna. What was that all about? Did you see that? Did you see the look on their face? What's the problem?
No problem. I have complete confidence.
Yes. Well, I have complete confidence in Jared. That's what's happening right there.
That's just. Yep.
I got a big long drill bit. Here you go, Jared. Well, here you go.
It's good.
If you break it, it's just another video of us fixing it. We're taping up, we're putting cardboard over the front of the boards or front of the panels, because that way when we're working with them and there's no voltage.
Correct. Yep.
Because otherwise, as soon as the sun hits these things, this thing's hot. And Jared's hair turns a little grayer.
Thanks for pointing out the gray I already do have. Yeah, there's no off switch to them, so.
The gray or the panels?
The panels.
Oh, okay.
And the gray.
We got the panels locked and loaded in here. Now, I will tell you what's really cool about these panels is that Trish and I actually visited Zamp in Bend, Oregon to see them made. These are US made parts. We went into their manufacturing facility. We saw the stringer like kind of weld, like heat on the strings. We saw the panels. We actually broke a panel, which is kind of cool. But anyway, the thing I really like about the panels is that they have adjustable mounting points, because you don't know where you're going to be able to screw on the top of your roof. So the fact that you can pick your mounting points and then move the panel around is fantastic if you don't have the type of real estate that we have. If you have a smaller rig, your choices might be limited. But the other thing we did is we have some GeoFlex sealant, and so after the screw is made, you put a little dab in there, and that way it screws down and it seals it. And then we'll go ahead and probably put self-leveling DAP over that, just to make it totally waterproof. Okay, so now that we got all 3 solar panels on, each of the panels have this wire right here, and these 3 panels all come to the combiner right here, and it's already pre-wired for us, which is pretty cool. So they just plug directly into these things right here, and then this wire goes down. So what we've got here is this little guy right here, and I've fed that down there. Actually, I feel Jared on the other side of it. You want me to go up? There it is. Look at that. There's our wire. Timing of that worked out pretty good. So there's our wire here to hook all these things up, and we're almost done on the roof. Is as awkward as it looks, but I wanted to show you what happened when we removed that piece right there. We were able to go straight back like that. And as you just saw, we put wood back behind there, so we kind of filled it in so that we can mount the multi plus there, plus the shunt and whatnot. So now we're just gonna frame out a 90-degree wall right here behind all the water pump and all these wires. We're gonna just frame up a quick little deal, and then we bought some particle board, and I went to buy some felt, and we're just gonna square off that wall. Yeah, it looks great. It's gonna look even better with felt on it.
Good.
I got it all the way through now. We have these wires right here that we're gonna put into the solar charge controller. And we have these coming from the solar panels up top. These are coming from down below. Down here, we got these big wires here that go down in the belly, and they go all the way to the nose, which goes to the shunt. Well, actually, these right here go to the shunt, and then those right there go into the multi-plus, which is the inverter. So once we get all these wires strung, that's going to be the bulk of the work. And then connecting all the batteries, hooking it into the inverter. We're going to connect this up to the solar and the battery monitor. That's going to be slightly less work. So we're behind schedule, but I have a feeling things are going to pick up really fast. The other thing we got to do is build this thing for the displays. There's the inverter with its cover off, mounted to the wall. Here's of course our new wall. Progress has been made. Don't mind Jared inside the thing. I mean, Jared's like 6'5". Are you 6'5"?
6'4".
This is a little ingenious idea. At least I think it's kind of ingenious. So we have these little 2-inch L brackets. We shrink wrap this side of it, so to provide anti-chafing essentially, and then we mounted up the brackets here and one on each. That'll hold it in place. It doesn't take up a lot of space. So another big exciting news is once we got that inverter mounted over here, we realized that we could put all the batteries right here, and then we still have our entire pass-through. So we're not blocking any of the space. And I kept my Vire pump right here, and I kept our shop vac right there, and my tools right here. So I'll still be able to keep the tools here, and I'll just move those things forward. So I think this is a much better layout. Okay, not exactly my best work, but I made a little block and wrapped it in felt. Tried to do my best to keep the bottom as flat as possible. So the shunt is gonna go on this, so that way it's up off the ground. Kind of looks nice when you look in there, just off the batteries, and then we'll put the shunt right there, and then connect in a couple terminals. Let's go throw this in there. We were thinking of putting the shunt right like that.
Yep.
Nice. Now it might just look like I'm sitting here doing nothing, but as it turns out, I'm actually watching Jared cut the back plate, would you say?
Yeah.
To the solar charger, so it's not like I'm not doing anything.
Yeah. You're doing a great job, by the way.
Yeah, you know, Trish calls this support. On a more serious note, I was really fortunate that Home Depot had this black backboard type wood, because I think it looks really attractive. It's already treated. My options were running out. We could have gone with like some seaboard stuff to cut, and then we were gonna go with wood and stain it, but that wouldn't have really matched. Then we were gonna get wood and spray paint it, but sometimes that just looks a little homemade. So I think this stuff is gonna be a really good option. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? Oh, nice.
This is so incredible. That's impressive. This is so exciting. So cool. First of all, I didn't even know what solar could do for you. And now I look at that like with just like love, little hearts are in my eyeballs. It's like, oh my gosh.
Yes.
Remember Pepe Le Pew when he would like chase down
Yes.
the skunk and you'd be like, oh. That's what I feel like.
Well,
about
there's two
this.
things, right? There's coffee makers and there's
Yes.
hair dryers.
Yes.
I mean, those are two very important things. And then there's being able to charge whatever you want in any outlet in the rig.
That's incredible.
Yes.
That's life-changing. That's like being able to go about your day.
Well, that means that like we've reduced the fatigue out of dry camping
Usually I need the red out button.
on like day one.
Day one. We arrive and I'm like, so how long are we going to be here?
I'm gonna go shut the breaker off to the rig and see if the inverter keeps the power on.
And then of course, as soon as he does that, we're gonna see if we can run certain appliances that we have on this side of the 50. That would be the outlets. That would be the coffee maker in the outlet, of course. Don't know if we have the microwave on that side. I'll have to figure it out. Are you off?
Yeah, it's off.
Wow, I didn't even feel anything. So now the question is, does the coffee maker work? Oh, nice. All right, we are getting really close to being done. And by the way, I elected to put this fridge on the inverter because this is kind of like our cold drinking fridge. And when we have travel days, it's nice to just pull over and grab a drink out of the back. So the only thing left now to install is the Easy Start up on the air conditioning unit. And as I said in the beginning of this video, what this does is it takes that initial surge of amperage out when you first kick on the air conditioning unit. I know you know what I'm talking about, like when you kick on a vacuum cleaner in your house and you see the lights dim and then they stop. It's the same concept with the air conditioning unit. So if you want to be able to run an air conditioning unit on a single generator or your batteries or inverter, in my case, you would need a soft starter. So Micro Air Easy Start is the device that Jared and I are going to install. We're not going to be able to run the air conditioning for very long, maybe an hour, maybe 2 hours, but oftentimes if you have a dog in your rig and you want to just go out to lunch, leave your dog in the rig, or maybe you just get back to the rig at 3, 4 in the afternoon and you want to just cool it down, that's where this would be ideal for. We're all in position, turn the air conditioning on. Why don't you kick it on, Trish?
Okay.
All right. And let's watch this if you can see. We're currently at negative 3 amps. Right there.
Right there.
There it goes. Negative 27. Negative 23. Oh, wait, there it goes. Oh, that's right, because with what the Easy Start does is I think I've learned that it separates the load as it kicks things on, and now the compressor's on. So now negative 136.
Okay, so what does this mean for the user?
Well, as you can see, I have time remaining right there, and so our time remaining is 4 hours and 30 minutes. But I know from experience that that's going to go down somewhere between about an hour and 45 and 2 hours.
It's gonna dip really quick, but here's the good part. Okay, let's say you are away from your rig all day, like we were in Moab.
Yes.
And then we come back, it was 102 or something. It was very warm inside the rig. We kicked the AC on, we brought the temperature down, and then we were ready to go do our next thing. So then we left.
We checked some emails, we changed, we took a shower, we got ready. We were in the RV for about an hour, and then we went up to Utah.
Yeah, so it made the rig livable.
Yes.
Right?
All right, let's kick the air conditioning off because it messes up the audio, and there's just a couple other things I want to share with you.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna turn it off.
But let's talk a little bit about solar and some of the advantages of solar. I will say the past 10 days has been so less fatiguing on day-to-day travel.
Liberating.
Yeah, well, we have everything we need on an ongoing basis. See, when we first wanted to do solar, it was about going out and having more freedom, finding the perfect campsite, and being able to stay there for as long as you want. That's what the idea was, right? And that's what a lot of people talk about. What we've learned is not only do you get that, but some of the fatigue in RV travel is eliminated.
Yeah, there is a level of fatigue, right? And you want to bring that level way down so that everybody in your party can enjoy themselves.
Okay, so if someone's new to RVing or maybe they don't have an RV yet, what are you talking about when you say fatigue?
I'm talking about when you go out and you're dry camping. That means that you're not hooked up to electricity. You only have so much battery bank to run the lights. So the first day, everything's good. You got your lights on, you're playing your music, you're having good food. Oh, yay, yay, yay. You wake up in the the morning, you put your hat on because it's day 2 in a camping trip, and your hair's a little funky. And you're like, that's okay, I'm totally into this, it's really fun, I'm at a music festival, I'm, you know, doing whatever it is
Watching the
I'm doing.
balloons at the Albuquerque
Watching the balloons at Albuquerque Fiesta, the whole thing, okay? Day 3 comes, and I am looking for the exit sign. Like, when are we leaving? Because I have minimal electricity. I can't curl my hair under after I take a shower. I can't plug the coffee maker in. I've got all these grinds from the French press. There's just things that I can't do. And it's kind of like an onion. It layers upon itself. And you just get worn out.
And sure, you can get a generator to solve a lot of these problems. And a generator is a more economical approach. But when we had a generator, what I found is that I didn't go to the truck to get it.
Right.
Because it was to charge a laptop. Or it was to make coffee. Like, individually, the one thing I wanted to do was not worth going to the truck,
or if
grabbing it.
If you're in Joshua Tree, you can't be outside at certain times.
I mean, I think at the top of the list, it's independence, it's freedom, being able to do what it is you want to do, when you want to do it. And then I think we've now since found there's a certain level of freedom every day.
Yeah.
All right, the other thing I wanted to share with you is we had a KYD insider, Mark, who hooked us up with those cables, which are so ridiculous, all right?
Yes.
Mark ended up popping on over to our rig and helping us with an exhaust fan system in the nose. And I think a lot of people don't realize that with lithium, it's a little bit more susceptible to temperatures. So anything under 25 degrees, it might not charge. Anything over 140 could start damaging the battery. So we installed an exhaust fan up in the nose with a link to a thermostat, where anything over 95 degrees, the exhaust fan kicks on and sucking out all that hot air. And then we installed a large screen on the other side to allow that airflow to come into the nose. All right, so that is it. That is our solar setup. Like I said before, if you want more information, if you want to go into, if you're an RV newbie looking for more information on how solar works, going into some of the costs, or if you're looking to do a solar setup and you're interested in some of the stuff that we did, go to keeperdaydream.com/RV-solar and you'll get everything there. Plus, all the questions that we get from this, we'll be answering them in more detail on that blog.
Yeah, and if you are an RV newbie, don't be afraid to ask questions, because solar is a big topic.
We were looking for the outlet for the coffee maker and just about anything we were like, where does this go in? Like, how come this is not working?
Yes, I was ready to go anywhere. So, you know, if you have any questions, you're starting from ground zero, you are welcome here.
Yes.
And we are ready to answer some questions. So
awesome. Okay, there's just one more thing to talk about, and that is this. This is our 600 watt inverter.
This was our first baby.
This was the starter system. So if you are just looking to get started in solar, you want to charge laptops, phones, have something to plug into, you have a small battery bank, either like one 12 volt or two 6 volts, this is a good place to start. And you know who's getting this?
The insiders!
Every month we do a KYD insider update. It's at the end of every month. And usually we do a giveaway at the end of every month. So if you're interested in entering the giveaway, just become a KYD insider, and you can learn more information about that by clicking that link and checking it out down below. But that is it for this video, and if you like it, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, we release a new video every week. So join us.
Every Sunday night. Bye for now.
Someone's got to hold the camera. Oh man, they're light.
They are light. Considering batteries?
Yeah.